Hello, this is Dr. Jeffrey Lieberman of Columbia University speaking to you for Medscape. Today, I want to talk about the quality information that we're receiving through all sources, certainly in professional scientific journals, but also, more significantly, through the media. This affects healthcare providers, but it affects more importantly, perhaps, the population at large. Now, think of information as the air we breathe. We need oxygen to function. If the atmosphere becomes polluted or the concentration of oxygen decreases, such as occurs at higher altitude, this impairs our ability to function. Similarly, we need information to function, to know what decisions to make, how to plan, what to buy and eat, and where and from whom to receive health care, and what medicines to take. For this reason, I'm concerned about the quality of information that has permeated our media, including broadcast, print, internet-based, and social media. Now, this comes largely in the guise of advertising, but also in infomercials, and even the so-called objective news media. It's my opinion that the standards of veracity, authenticity, and reliability that we assume should be met have declined or dissolved altogether. It seems that anything goes. Anything can be said or claimed without regard to the truth or evidence. It's not a matter of free speech or expression, or even caveat emptor, that people can say anything and the buyer has to beware. But it's a question of who's responsible for holding people, organizations, and companies that are purveying this information or misinformation accountable, and what are the consequences for not doing this? Now, here are some examples of phony healthcare products. For cognitive enhancement, we see repeatedly on television, on radio, and the internet, ads for Prevagen, for improving cognitive acuity and memory, focus factor. These things are not just questionable, they're absolutely bogus. For diet, products like Lean Spa, FatFo, Senso Salts, and a cognitive therapy called Noom. Now, what is the evidence for these? There's none in the medical literature that I'm aware of. There's also products that are advertised as energies. Thermo Energy Booster, Nugenics, which is basically a form of testosterone, beet crystals, apple vinegar. I mean, this is the equivalent of old wives' tale or snake oil. We have also products for aging and longevity, for baldness and hair replacement, and for prostate treatments. There's no evidence for these things. These are claimed to be effective and accurate, and how are people to know? And we even have doctors who collude in this, who act as spokespersons, or who advertise themselves as the people to go to for various maladies. Now, I can't generalize that all of these are really snake oil salesmen or charlatans, but I'm skeptical of the motives and credentials of the advertisements that we see. Now, I'm personally proud to have helped to expose two of the most disreputable members of our profession in mental health care and psychiatry, Keith Abloh and Daniel Amen. I don't know whose responsibility it is to monitor the quality of information that comes across the airwaves or the internet, whether it's the FCC or the FTC or the media organizations that promote these and pay for these ads or infomercials or infotainment. But they should know that the public is being indiscriminately exposed to their detriment. Now, it's similar in many ways to what's being debated now in the public arena and in Congress about social media platforms such as Facebook and Twitter, and what is their responsibility for the material that's posted. This is mainly being done in the political vein, but it also pertains to ads for healthcare products as well. Now, I'm very concerned about this, but before ending, I also want to comment on another disturbing media trend that I've noticed. Maybe I'm watching television or on the internet too much, but I see a torrent of ads by personal injury law firms and lawyers, much more, many more than in the past. And what this seems to be is trolling for cases in a way that can incite people to make claims which may not be justified. And what this does, apart from ostensibly remunerating people for injuries or illnesses they've incurred because of malpractice or mistakes made in hospitals or by doctors, but it also causes doctors to practice defensive medicine, which drives up healthcare costs, and in the end results in higher insurance premiums. So in the end, it's passed on to the public. Now, in science and medicine, we're held to objective and empirical standards. Patients die, complications occur, or in science and research, findings that are published are not replicated, and they don't hold up in the end in the literature, and they don't become standards of care, virtue of replication and repeated proof through verification. This is the standard we're measured against, and there's no way around it. If patients die, if patients have complications, this affects our medical reputations. If data that we find as researchers is not replicated, it does not hold up, then these findings and these claims and these hypotheses go away, and our scientific reputations are impacted by this. Why aren't similar standards, objective standards, held in terms of the information that is exposed to in public media? The quality of the information of the media is being purveyed on public airways and the internet. Somebody needs to hold people and the organizations that are purveying this information and the companies that are being paid for the advertising or the airtime. Somebody needs to hold them more accountable. Thank you for listening to this. I'm Dr. Jeffrey Lieberman of Columbia University, speaking today for Medscape.